Hey everyone, it's Zeb here. Today, we're diving into the truth behind Pi Network, the so-called revolutionary crypto project. Millions have tapped their phones dreaming of a future where Pi tokens would make them rich. But as we peel back the layers, a disturbing picture emerges. Is Pi Network a democratizing force or a carefully constructed illusion? Hype doesn't equate to substance, and belief can be dangerous in the volatile world of cryptocurrency. Stay with me as we uncover the uncomfortable truths. Pi Network burst onto the scene with a seductive promise. Cryptocurrency mining made accessible to everyone directly from their smartphones. No expensive hardware, no complex algorithms, just a simple tap on an app each day. This revolutionary concept resonated with millions globally. People from all walks of life were drawn in by the allure of free tokens and future riches. The onboarding process was ingeniously simple, often fueled by referral codes. It was a masterclass in viral marketing. The early days were filled with unbridled optimism. The community grew exponentially, a digital army of pioneers. The core team, led by figures from Stanford University, cultivated an image of academic credibility. They spoke of a new digital currency for the people. This narrative created a strong sense of belonging. The promise was always just around the corner: the launch of the mainnet, the unlocking of true value. However, the journey was punctuated by prolonged delays. While the user count swelled, the actual utility of Pi remained elusive. The mainnet launch was not the open event many had hoped for. But this recent turmoil, this shocking volatility, isn't the first time Pi Network has found itself embroiled in controversy. The project's history is peppered with incidents that should have served as stark warnings, red flags fluttering in the wind, largely unheeded by its ever-growing legion of followers. As far back as 2021, a significant data breach sent shockwaves through a segment of the Pi community, particularly in Vietnam. Reports emerged that a staggering 17 gigabytes of user data, allegedly harvested from Pi Network users, had been leaked online. This included sensitive personal information, raising serious alarms about the project's commitment to user privacy and data security. The implications of such a leak were and remain deeply concerning. For a project that prided itself on accessibility and user trust, the potential compromise of personal data was a critical blow. While the Pi core team attempted to manage the fallout, questions lingered. How secure was the platform? What measures were in place to protect the vast amounts of data being collected from millions of users worldwide? The promise of free mining suddenly seemed to come with a hidden cost, a potential trade-off of privacy for a token of uncertain future value. This incident alone should have prompted a much deeper scrutiny of the project's operational security. Around the same period, regulators in China began to cast a wary eye on Pi Network's activities within their borders. Pi Network proudly boasts a staggering 60 million users. This number is frequently paraded as undeniable proof of its success, its global reach, and its inevitable dominance in the crypto landscape. It's a headline-grabbing statistic, designed to impress and to silence critics. If so many people are involved, surely it must be legitimate, right? Surely this massive user base translates into a vibrant, active ecosystem. However, when you begin to dig beneath this impressive surface number, a very different and far more concerning picture starts to emerge, one that questions the very nature of this user base. The critical metric isn't just the number of registered accounts or app downloads, it's the number of wallets, the wallets genuinely engaging with the network, transacting and utilizing its supposed features. And here the numbers, or rather the lack of verifiable, transparent data, become suspiciously low, almost eerily quiet compared to the proclaimed 60 million. Chapter 4. The Consensus Pump and the Crushing Dump. The crypto world watched with bated breath in May 2025. Pi Network, a project that had long operated in the peripheries of mainstream crypto discourse, suddenly saw its token price, or at least the IOU price on limited exchanges, experience a meteoric rise. From a relatively modest 66 cents, Picoin seemingly defied gravity, pumping aggressively to an astonishing $1.60. This surge ignited a firestorm of excitement within the Pi community. This is it, many proclaimed, the moment we've all been waiting for. The price action seemed to validate their years of patience and daily tapping, a tangible sign that Pi was finally ready for its grand debut on the world stage. This dramatic pump, interestingly, coincided with Pi Network's highly publicized appearance at Consensus 2025, one of the largest and most influential cryptocurrency conferences. Chapter 5. The Whistleblower, Dr. Picoin's Damning Revelation. Dr. Picoin, a respected Pi community figure, revealed a massive 12 million Pi token transfer linked to the Pi core team. He presented on-chain data, alleging insiders inflated the token's value to dump holdings on retail investors. His viral post painted a grim picture of betrayal, suggesting the Pi ecosystem's builders profited at the expense of loyal followers. Chapter 6. Following the Money, the GAP7 EMP Wallet Trail. Central to Dr. Picoin's explosive allegations was a specific wallet address, GAP7 EMP. This string of characters, previously innocuous to the vast majority of Pi users, suddenly became a symbol of potential deceit and insider manipulation. Dr. Picoin and other on-chain analysts allege that this particular wallet was not just any random address, but was intrinsically connected to the operational activities of the Pi core team. It was, they suggested, a key node in the flow of tokens controlled by the project's inner circle, a wallet that held significant sway over large quantities of Pi. The investigation into wallet GAP7 EMP revealed a disturbing pattern of activity. Millions of Pi tokens were observed flowing out from this address, and the timing of these outflows was, to put it mildly, highly suspicious. Faced with mounting evidence and growing outrage from the community regarding the suspicious 12 million Pi token movement from wallet GAP7 EMP, defenders of Pi Network, and presumably the core team itself, scrambled for an explanation. The narrative that quickly emerged was that these large token transfers were nothing more than a routine testnet to mainnet migration. This explanation suggested that the tokens were simply being moved as part of the ongoing technical process of transitioning assets from the experimental test network to the live, albeit still closed, mainnet environment, a technical necessity, not a nefarious plot. On the surface, this explanation might seem plausible to those unfamiliar with the intricacies of blockchain operations or those desperate to believe in the project's integrity. Token migrations are indeed a common occurrence when a project moves from one phase of development to another. However, the context and execution of this particular migration raised more questions than it answered. If this was a planned, legitimate technical procedure, why was it communicated so poorly, or rather, not communicated at all proactively to the community? Transparency is paramount in crypto, especially when dealing with large token movements that could be misconstrued. Chapter 8. Distraction and Deception. The oldest trick in the book. Dr. Picoin, in his continued critique of the Pi core team's actions, didn't just focus on the suspicious token transfers. He also highlighted what he described as a classic distraction tactic, a maneuver designed to divert the community's attention away from uncomfortable truths, while potentially nefarious activities were taking place behind the scenes. This tactic, he argued, was masterfully deployed around the Consensus 2025 event and the subsequent market turmoil. The community was primed for major revelations, for the fulfillment of long-standing promises. For years, the Pi community had been eagerly anticipating the rollout of 100 new decentralized applications, or dApps, and the achievement of full decentralization. These were the milestones that were supposed to unlock Pi's true potential, transforming it from a speculative asset into a thriving utility-driven ecosystem. The hype leading up to Consensus 2025 strongly suggested that these significant developments were imminent. Chapter 9. Blockchain or Blind Alley? The fundamental question. All these recent events, the suspicious pump and dump, the alleged insider token movements, the questionable explanations and the distraction tactics, inevitably revive a fundamental nagging question that has hovered over Pi Network since its inception. Is this a genuine blockchain project with revolutionary potential, or is it merely a cleverly disguised data harvesting operation and marketing funnel built on hype and hope rather than substance? The evidence, particularly in light of the 2025 turmoil, increasingly points towards a less flattering conclusion for its millions of users. One of the core tenets of legitimate blockchain projects is transparency. Code is typically open source, allowing for independent audits and community verification. Governance models like decentralized autonomous organizations, or DAOs, aim to distribute control and decision-making. Financial dealings, especially those involving treasury funds or team allocations, are often subject to public scrutiny. Pi Network, however, operates in stark contrast to these principles. Chapter 10. The Verdict, Slow Rug, or Call for Radical Transparency. So, where does this leave us? If the allegations surrounding the 12 million Pi token sell-off by insiders are true, Pi Network may have executed one of the biggest slow rug pulls of 2025. A slow rug is a cruel form of deception, where trust is built over years, and then value is extracted, leaving the community devastated. If these allegations are not true, the Picoin team must provide a transparent explanation. Outrow the path forward, vigilance and verification. So there you have it, folks. The Pi Network saga is far from over, but the signs are clear, and frankly, deeply concerning. We've journeyed through its promises, its controversies, and the recent alarming allegations that point towards potential insider manipulation on a massive scale. The dream of a democratized cryptocurrency, mined easily on your phone, is a powerful one, but it appears it may have been exploited, twisted into something that could harm millions of hopeful individuals. The discrepancy between the public narrative and the emerging on-chain evidence is a chasm that demands answers, not excuses. This situation serves as a stark reminder of a fundamental truth in the crypto space. Always do your own research. Don't rely on hype, don't get swept up in community fervor, and don't trust blindly, no matter how credible the founders may seem or how large the user base grows.